It's a beautiful time with you again, our viewer, on the Power Circuit. It is a program from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, that keeps you informed about power sector activities. I am your anchor, Amara Agubesi. Take a peek into the reports. Minister calls for collective action in implementing power sector solutions. TCN Management Senior Staff Union hold routine collaborative meeting. Health, safety and environment always a priority at TCN. Do you want to know more about how TCN manages the vast network of transmission lines nationwide? Then the interview segment is just for you, as the Assistant General Manager, Lines Project at TCN, Engineer Rabiu Bako, will take us through the modalities of this. Let's get on with this edition. Collective action, or you may call it unity, is strength. When people work together, they can achieve a lot. This is the message from the Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, to state governments, investors and operators in the power sector on working to improve electricity supply nationwide.
Delivering a keynote address at a roundtable organized by the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, in Abuja, the Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, said the gathering was to spur collaborations among state governments, investors and distribution companies on mini-grids development towards accelerating access to electricity.
So our collective presence here, representing the primary stakeholders in the sector, reflects a shared commitment to drive the change needed in this very critical sector. You cannot overemphasize the importance of electricity to economic growth and industrial development. In fact, that is the only way we can energize and realize the abundance of human resources and mineral resources that Nigeria is actually blessed with. Without energizing them, they remain potentials forever. Ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you that the discourse we will be having in this hall in the next 2 days is not merely a roundtable conversation. It is a call to action, an opportunity to forge collaborative efforts that will shape the future of our nation's energy landscape.
The minister urged collaborators to shun the challenges and work towards implementing sustainable solutions.
Enough of lamentations. Enough of expression of the importance of energy. Enough of all the bottlenecks that we have been witnessing in the past 60 years after independence. It is time for action. We've all diagnosed the problem with the industry, and the issue of not knowing what is wrong does not exist. We all know what is wrong with the sector across all segments of the value chain: generation, transmission, distribution. I've been talking about all these troubles, all these problems over the years. We're still talking about 4,000. That is something more fundamental is wrong with the system, which this administration is committed to address. We don't want to rub it in the face any longer. We don't want to keep addressing the symptoms. We don't want to continue to address the branches of the tree. We have to go to the root cause and address it once and for all.
Chief Adelabu continued to highlight the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in fostering electricity growth, especially in the new Electricity Act.
And His Excellency has set us on a path of transformative growth. The 2023 Electricity Act and the recent amendment in 2024 therefore serve as a testament to the nation's commitment to creating an enabling environment for sustaining energy development. As primary stakeholders, we have the responsibility to build upon this foundation set by Mr. President to propel Nigeria into a new era of energy excellence. Mr. President has done his own part by displaying the courage, the bravery to move the energy sector out of the exclusive legislative list of the National Assembly and put it on concurrent list, which gives every player across the sector, across all levels of government, to participate in transforming the energy sector.
The Minister of Power, Chief Adelabu, further lauded the turnout of participants and their passion to collaborate in resolving the energy challenge.
I want to thank everybody for coming to this forum to discuss issues of national importance. I thank you for your commitment, for the passion, for the interest you have shown in the development of our country. It affects me, it affects you, it affects everybody at home. For you to have taken the day to be part of the solution, I want to thank you so much. I want to wish you a very fruitful deliberation, and I believe that at the end of this seminar, the power sector will not remain the same again. Thank you and God bless.
In continuing with its collaboration activities, the management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) has held a meeting with the executive members of the senior staff of Electricity and Allied Companies (SEAC). The meeting was held at the corporate headquarters of TCN in Abuja, where the participants discussed strategies to maximize the output of the company.
Addressing the union members at the first meeting of the year, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TCN, Engineer Dr. Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, reiterated the commitment of the management team to sustain the collaborative meeting.
Let me seize this opportunity to express my profound gratitude and appreciation to the Association for your selflessness, maturity, and pragmatic approach to issues which is top-notch. As usual, we are ever ready to synergize, cooperate, and support you in all the areas capable of creating an atmosphere of industrial peace and harmony, most especially on staff welfare, which your union always advocates for. As partners in progress, the issue on staff welfare will not be treated with kid gloves, as well-motivated workforce will surely be productive and wish to work harder, knowing fully well that they will be rewarded accordingly.
Engineer Abdulaziz also highlighted the importance of training and retraining of staff members of TCN.
This is to encourage them, sharpen their skills for efficiency and productivity, and the exercise is still ongoing. In addition, some staff who are members of various professional bodies were sponsored to attend their annual conferences held in some part of this country, namely NSE, CIPM, etc.
On the quest towards improving the transmission system, the TCN head presented the 4 new executive directors to the union. In his remarks, President of the SEAC, Benedict Chika, acknowledged the appointment of the executive directors as he pledged the commitment of the union to work with them.
And I appeal again to members of staff that if God has given you position and God has given some other people position, it is in our best interest to support them.
The union members and the management staff of TCN went on to discuss issues around staff productivity and innovative work practices to elevate the output of the company.
The power circuit continues in a moment.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmits bulk electricity from power generating companies. GenCos, distribution load centers of distribution companies, DISCOs, nationwide. At TCN, we transport bulk electricity at very high voltage to DISCOs, who now off-take it and distributes it directly to electricity customers nationwide. TCN does not generate electricity. We transport the quantum of power generated to distribution load centers. TCN does not distribute electricity directly to electricity consumers. Our job stops where that of the DISCOs begin. TCN consists of two distinct business units: the Transmission Service Provider, TSP, and Independent System Operation, ISO. ISO comprises System Operation, SO, and Market Operation, MO. Each business unit performs specialized functions under the TCN umbrella. TCN, transmitting bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
At the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, safety is always a priority. Team members are always made to go through a safety checklist in their dealings. And once in a while, there is the Health, Safety and Environment Conference in each of the 10 regions of the company, where members of staff refresh their knowledge and practice of health and safety. Come with us to the Enugu region of TCN and have a feel yourself.
At the first Health, Safety and Environment Conference held this year in Enugu region of TCN, the members of staff were all ready to take new points to heart. Due to the priority given to the safety conference by the management of TCN, the General Manager, Health, Safety and Environment at the TCN Corporate Headquarters, Mr. Kange Kefas, was on ground to anchor the conference. Mr. Kange, who spoke about the innovative things the management of TCN was doing to improve the safety practices across the 10 regional headquarters. Among these innovations are the deployment of special safety kits and personal protection equipment (PPE), fire and other safety drills to ensure the highest level of protection for staff in the field. In his opening remarks, the General Manager, Enugu region of TCN, Engineer Emmanuel Akpa, said it is a tradition to always hold the conference on safety and lauded the management for driving the best safety practices. Engineer Akpa also thanked the management team for the efforts in increasing the bulk power capacity of the New Haven substation in Enugu from 300 megawatts to 600 megawatts, along other substations upgrades in the Enugu region. The Assistant General Manager, Operations, Health, Safety and Environment at TCN Headquarters, Abuja, Mr. Ibrahim Yusuf, thanked the General Manager, Transmission at the Enugu region for collaborating with the state government to tackle issues of illegal structures on TCN transmission lines right-of-way.
This is the interview segment of the Power Circuit. In this edition, the Assistant General Manager Lines Project TCN, Engineer Rabiu Baku, takes us through the modalities of managing the vast network of transmission lines nationwide. See him speak. There are a number of transmission lines upgrade across several routes. What is their status?
By good grace, we are trying our best to see that more power is allocated through the lines to so many places. There are so many transmission line projects ongoing, and there are so many reconductoring also ongoing. The essence of all these things is to improve the wheeling capacity, to increase the wheeling capacity, and also to see that more power is delivered to various load centers.
How does the line projects contribute to the national electricity grid stability?
Usually transmission line perform great because the grid is an interconnection, and you cannot make interconnection without the lines. Interconnection means interconnection of various substation, power stations, and load centers. This cannot happen if the lines are not in place. The lines come into play very vital role because most of the power stations are sited, located in a remote area, and the load centers are outside the remote areas. Now these issues now bring the whole issue of why we need transmission line. The transmission line always carry power from remote areas to load centers, which is the biggest load centers, that is the cities and villages.
To execute transmission line projects, can you tell us the challenges and how do you handle safety issues?
Challenges are natural anywhere, not necessary on project execution. But the ones in project execution has to do with communities and villages, including different human beings. Transmission line traverses a lot of communities, from A to B to C to D to E to F to G to H and the rest. Now in those areas, you may have different people with different ideas and different thinking, and different people have their own ways of saying, we want power, but if you can drop it with, on the transmission line for us, which we know is not possible. So what we do with them is we keep them community, because the villages and the communities that this line traverses are all our friends and brothers. We keep them together so that we can be able to achieve what we are there for, that is execution of the transmission line project. Power line projects takes time, depending on how we get it and how long it is. The biggest challenge with transmission line implementation is right of way. This challenges is the one that is keeping us longer in the execution of transmission line. Where we don't have those challenges, transmission line is executed seamlessly without any hiccups, and we do it on time. So we don't have much challenge except of the right of way. And this right of way are community issues. Some people will say they want the line, some people will say they don't want the line to pass through them. Some will allow us to pass seamlessly, no problem. But those that will say they will not allow us, that is what will cause delay, because we've passed it, we've charged the line through them. So we have to divert in some places and see that these projects are implemented as at when due. Power lines are done through so many specifications, and these specifications are done with a lot of safety. Safety clearance in the right of way, safety clearance of electrical clearances, safety clearance with all communities, because we look at the areas that this line traverses, we don't pass through city centers for security and for safety reasons. And this safety, after our implementation, is being taken care of, looked at by NEMSA, that is Nigerian Electricity Management Services, who looked at all these safety issues and certified and give a certificate of certification on the completion of the project that is executed.
How does TCN resolve cases that significantly disrupt the execution of transmission line projects?
Significant obstacles happen. Very, very not so frequent anyway. When these things happen, we contact various stakeholders. Stakeholders are very, very important in the implementation. Our stakeholders usually are the state governors, the local government, the community. At times, even with the coming of the state governors or the local government, the community will say they prefer us to deal with their village head. So we have to go back to the drawing board and start with the village head before taking it up to the other scenarios. So at times, the community would like us to recognize them through their village head. These are some of the obstacles we have. But since now we now know that they prepare us to follow through their village and community heads, we always go through them, except where this thing fail. That is when we take it up to the state and local government authorities for immediate mediation to see that we do our work seamlessly.
$6.5 there.
Guys, I have a business that can change our lives.
Business?
Business that can change our lives.
Guys, if money is involved, I mean, take it. But you don't know the kind of business. I mean,
Business is business.
okay, my guy. That's you. I mean, I mean, man.
real money. And there's a big market for it.
Wait, is it vandalism that you have brought me here to do?
Yes!
Something that can take me to jail. Something that can destroy our economy and spoil what the government wants to achieve.
Real money.
I can't. See this man. I can't.
Even you.
Shut up your mouth. I will never go to jail. Vandalism. God forbid. God forbid.
Look at the people I want to help.
Come here!
I beg you. Please, Oga, I beg you. I beg you. This is the handwork of the devil. Please.
Be part of our economic growth. Do not destroy electricity power installations. Do not destroy government effort to provide electricity for all. Report any suspicious person found stealing or loitering around power installations to any security operatives close to you or to the nearest transmission company of Nigeria office.
This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
It takes a lot of strategizing, dialoguing and community relations to get power transmission line projects executed. TCN has continued to chart this course with professionalism while keeping to the highest safety rules, whether in the execution of new power transmission line projects or the upgrade of existing lines. Thank you for staying with us right through this edition. Minister calls for collective action in implementing power sector solutions. TCN Management Senior Staff Union hold routine collaborative meeting. Health, safety and environment always a priority at TCN. In the interview segment, the Assistant General Manager, Lines Project at TCN, Engineer Rabiu Bako, elaborated the strategies and actions TCN deploys to manage the vast network of transmission lines across the country. We implore you to always stick with the power circuit for expository reports on the power sector. We have made this episode and all others available on the TCN YouTube channel. If you haven't connected with TCN on its social media platforms, then you can do that now as you subscribe to the TCN YouTube channel, TCN_Nigeria. Kindly support TCN on Facebook as you like the page Transmission Company of Nigeria. You can also follow TCN on X, formerly Twitter, via @TCN_Nigeria. Experience TCN and its activities on Instagram as you click TCN_Nigeria. You can also send your observations and comments by email to affairs.public@tcn.org.ng. For more information about the company's activities, go to the interactive website www.tcn.org.ng. There is also an information site www.tcnnews.ng where TCN keeps you updated about its activities as you do your best to guard against vandalism of transmission lines, towers and substations in your locality. The management is committed to sustain its bulk power evacuation for national development. I am Amara Agugesi. Have a good day.